Round out your Pacific Rim collection at Big Bad Toy Store at the link in the description down below. Dragon Ball, Pokemon, Kaiju, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews. Hello there, collectors. It's Steven here, and I am finishing up those Pacific Rim Uprising reviews. And today we are going to be taking a look at the Sofvi Spirits Shrikethorn, or that would be a Sofvi Spirits or Soft Vinyl Spirits, whatever floats your boat for that name. Anyway, Shrikethorn here. It is one of the larger kaiju in the Pacific Rim franchise, and it is one of the three that we actually got a full body view of in Pacific Rim Uprising. Bandai was able to get it in the Sofvi Spirits line to complement their robot spirits, so this way it could tackle some Jaegers. But to be honest with you, with this being about $60, some fans are wondering if this big hunk of vinyl would be worth it. So let's take a look to see whether or not it's worth adding into your collection. Raijin, the first kaiju to be released in the Sofvi Spirits line, kind of disappointed collectors in some ways due to a rather limited paint scheme to it. Overall, they really didn't hit the mark in some areas to make sure that the figure was painted. And here, I'm actually pleased to report we do have a few different types of paint used, some rather nice paint application, but to be honest with you, at the end of the day, that's not why you're going to be picking this up. The sculpted details on this figure are fantastic, and if you actually look up close and personal at this guy, that's when you're going to start to see some of these smaller details which really make this figure worth the price. But is he worth $60? Well, to be honest with you, we can't quite tell just yet. But what we can do right now is take a closer look at the figure, and we're going to go ahead and start with the head, where we definitely see some maroon paint application, which helps to contrast the very bright metallic blue used in the mouth and on the eyes. And I do have to say that the head is the most stunning part of Shrikethorn here. It is very unique. We don't really see this with some of the other kaiju in the Pacific Rim lineup as a whole, not just specifically with Uprising, so this is definitely going to be one unique looking kaiju on the shelf. Now, throughout the rest of the figure, like I mentioned earlier, the sculpted detail is fantastic on this guy. There are a whole bunch of little tiny folds and ripples and scutes to be found all over this figure, some of which are highlighted thanks to a nice rusty orange dry brushing on the arms and on the legs. And then we do also have teeny tiny hints of that metallic blue coloration that is used as a spray, specifically on the chest, to really liven things up. The only downside here is that, you know, that kaiju blue, the neon that flows throughout some of these beasts? Well, if you take a look at the chest, the pecs, oh, definitely, those are highlighted well enough. But if you follow those metallic blue lines onto his lower half, they actually stop at the seam. So yes, Bandai did get a bit lazy here with this release, and at $60, oof, that kind of stings. Anyway, taking a look at the rest of the figure, we do have some spikes on Shrikethorn, and at the base of them, for the most part, for some of the ones that are going to be in the focal point of the figure, you are going to have a blue shaded metallic base, but when we get up to the tip, it's either going to transition over into normal vinyl or into orange. You're going to have to be pretty picky in those areas because they're not all the same, and unfortunately, they're only going to be on the arms and on the back. Yeah. The rest of the figure is just that brown vinyl that the figure is cast in, so do take note there. We do also have some metallic blue on the claws and the hands and the feet, so yay. There's also a blue base coat where the spikes are on Shrikethorn's tail, so at the base of them, they're going to be blue. But other than that, the paint application on Shrikethorn, where it is actually pretty nice. But to be honest with you, it's kind of lazy. They didn't finish it up, but the sculpt, fantastic. Shrikethorn, where it looks good, looks amazing. Now for the articulation, and it's pretty straightforward because this is meant to be more so of a vinyl figure than it is supposed to be an action figure. So what are we going to have? We are going to have swivels at the bicep and then swivels at the elbow. There is not a neck joint. There's really not a waist joint at all aside from it rocking from side to side. Then at the base of the tails, we do have a little bit of swivel movement, but to be honest with you, it's not going to be a whole lot. Then throughout the rest of the figure, there are just going to be glue joints. So really, there isn't that much articulation. You're basically buying a vinyl statue that can kind of lift one arm up in protest against a Jaeger. And now we're going to go ahead and move on to the size comparison because this comes with no accessories, no small buildings, nothing. Nada. Zip. So as you can see, he is alongside his Haikuja brother, and that is just so this way you have an idea of how big these two are going to be together, and not because I'm just reusing shots here. As you can see, Shrikethorn is definitely going to command some space on the shelf, so you will have to clear some room. So, buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. Where Shrikethorn looks good, it looks great. But where it doesn't, and it's going to be in quite a few spots on the figure, well, it doesn't look really good, and it definitely shows that Bandai cut corners on a web exclusive that's about $60. Yeah, kind of hurts the wallet. To be honest with you here, I don't see many people picking up Shrikethorn unless they absolutely love the kaiju to begin with, or they just want more Pacific Rim goodness, which if you're in that camp, well, why are you watching this review? You probably already own it. But if you're on the fence, I would say keep an eye on this guy, maybe wait for price to fluctuate a little bit, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's pretty nice to have a big lug up on your shelf, especially when you can forget the price tag. Good figure, just not $60 good. Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now, you've heard a lot from me. I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand-selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand-selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.